Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Damon Campbell with KarmaloopTV here at Lincoln Hall in Chicago with a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Eillphant!
Great to meet you, Eillphant. Definitely
Yeah.
appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming by.
Absolutely. Now, talk about getting off on the right foot. Your debut single was featured in FIFA 13. Congratulations.
I like the first one.
Well, the first official, the first proper one.
Yeah, you mean techno scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was like 2 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, I understand you grew up as sort of a kicker kid?
Yeah,
Like
I did.
What is that exactly?
A kick in Sweden. In Sweden, we have that. We use the word kicker for probably the bully kids, like maybe the kids that was in the clique that was standing smoking cigarettes when they were like 13, 12, and like the ones that was like outside of the bubble.
Right.
I wasn't always like that. I was very much a hippie kid. I had this crew of like Saturn, Mars, Moon, Star. I was Saturn, like you know, like I had that crew before. My sister was so ashamed of me. And at some point, I just morphed into some very aggressive kicker world.
Really?
Yeah,
because you seem to be like very against structure in a lot of ways.
I am. So I think, yeah, it's been reflecting through my life. I tried most things. I tried being most things, and right now I'm just settling into like not putting myself in a box at all.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like I've heard you say, for example, quote, if you put an iceberg in the forest, it'll melt.
But everybody say iceberg, ice bear. I'm talking about the beer. I think I'm saying polar bear. I'm saying wrong all the time. You know, all my that I mean polar bear. You can't put a polar bear in the rainforest.
Yeah.
It will die. That's what I've been saying. Because I read that like in so many things. Everybody's put iceberg. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm probably saying this shit wrong.
Okay.
No, but I mean polar bear. Yeah, for sure. That's how it goes. For me, for example, I've been very lucky that I had this extreme urge to constantly like do something out of my existence.
Yeah.
I just had that forever, so I could always find comfort in my own art. That's a little bit, I think, what the artist world is all about. It's almost like you give birth to new babies every time you make a new art piece. But what I mean is that, like, for me, if I wasn't put in for what I'm talking about a lot is the fact that the school system is like very old, and different things we learn in school, like mathematics obviously is very important, and like there is a couple of those subjects that are pretty important that we learn in school, but I also think schools need to like follow how the world is developing. And I just see myself as a victim of a society that wanted me to become something that I wasn't, instead of embracing my personality and let me become a flower, you know.
Totally.
And I had the chance, and I was lucky enough having people and family that pushed me in the right direction. But I mean, there's so many people that would feel not that they're not enough for this world, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Just because they're different, and that's my point.
And understanding the importance of being able to be different, being able to make your own choices. I believe you helped put together a pretty popular breakfast menu back home in Stockholm.
Oh, you heard about that? Yeah, it's real cool. Actually, I started like two and a half year ago. I started up a breakfast in Stockholm in a restaurant called Rish. It's like one of the oldest restaurants in Sweden.
Yeah.
I think it's the second oldest one, and they never had breakfast. So I was me and Jenny Strömberg opened this fucking breakfast up, and it's still rolling. I still got friends working their ass off in that restaurant, and like, I don't know, with the whole restaurant thing was a big opportunity for me, because the personality I was and always have been worked very good in that world, and I'm just very glad and very happy. The reason why I mentioned that a lot is that I got support from that work a lot. They let me have a lot of days off, a lot of, you know, me burning out and like need time away, and like they always supported me a lot.
A lot of flexibility.
Yeah, because this was exactly when Eillphant was born at the same time. So I was giving birth to this breakfast, but at the same time giving birth to my own big project of my life, you know.
Is there anything in particular you'd recommend from the menu?
I mean, I always recommend a Florentine, like, you know, nice Florentine, like, You know, that's lovely. All of the eggs from, like, we're very organic and ecologic in that restaurant. So the eggs are like from a farm very close, and the chicken has a good life and stuff. So I can actually recommend an egg dish on that menu. Yeah.
Okay. And I couldn't help but notice you have a lyric about eggs growing out of our ears. Dare I ask what you meant by that?
Yeah, that's actually what I had a dream for many nights, in, like, not in a row, but at a certain period of my life. I dreamt that I had like eggs growing out of my ears, like small spider eggs growing, and I took them away in front of the mirror because it was almost like mountains of like small, shiny, weird eggs growing out of my ears.
Yeah.
And I could like take them away, and I heard like when I took them off, and then I did one blink, and they were back.
Crazy.
That was the scary part of it. Like, they were back. I think it's the bullshit, you know. It's like, that's what it represents. So much fucking bullshit everywhere, and it's just growing out of my system, you know.
Right.
I can't even handle it anymore. It's like, oh God, please, someone tell me something interesting, because I'm dying.
And kind of on that note, you know, that's a line from your song "Down on Life," and I understand you're, you know, really big on embracing our emotions, and kind of feel as if, like, you know, the darker times that we're able to truly find ourselves.
Yeah, for me, I'm an evolutionist. Like, I never been into religion, but I had a grandma, like, not really my grandma, it was my sister's grandma, like this typical Swedish like family situation. No one has their like same father and mother and stuff.
Okay.
But, like, she's been like my grandma, and she was super Christian, like super Christian. She brought me when I was a kid. My mom needed help a lot, so me and my sister was like, 1 week we were sleeping under a table in a bar or a restaurant that my mom was managing for.
Okay.
And the next day we were in Sunday school. It was like that. It was like a super twisted life, and I think it kind of put a seed in me to like for the whole religious idea.
Yeah.
But I was not fooled by the whole being that person, doing that thing, blah blah blah. But evolution, when I realized that, like maybe 8 years ago, like when I really understood what evolution was, and like actually the whole one love, one universe thing, to actually embrace every moment of your life, even if it's sad, even if it's a sad moment, and actually respecting and embracing another person's life, even if it's a sad life, even if it's in your eyes, not, you wouldn't wish that was your son or your daughter, but you still have to respect and accept that this world is not about good and bad. It's about evolution. It's about coming somewhere. And in my world where I come from, most people have they die when they're like 90, and they haven't really done anything big with their existence. And that's very good for the mass of the evolution. But I also appreciate a person that takes suicide when he's 16, and I also appreciate a person that starts with heroin and really like get into that. Like, whatever you do in your life, you have a mission, and it's up to everybody else to have the intelligence to understand that, and that's how you can help another person. You can never help a heroin addict if you don't respect their addiction. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you have to understand the evolutionary part that they do like that, and make it even bigger. If you want to take them out, I don't know. Yeah, for me, I'm an evolutionist. And
you're very against like a lot of medications, especially like the antidepressants and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm very against all kind of medications for ADHD, ADD, and the whole depression thing. For me, it's like, it's the medical companies that time and time again try out medicines like amphetamines. Like, we already tried it on soldiers in the war, and they started killing each other, and we couldn't deal with it like that anymore. Then we started giving it to businessmen on Wall Street. They started taking suicide. We gave it to home wives. They started they didn't fuck their husbands, and they got into like some, you know, they get junkies. We'd stopped with that, and now, as we speak, we give it to our children, and that's a big problem, and people need to talk about that. So
And I don't know if you're familiar, but it kind of reminds me of one of Kanye's lines. The plan was to drink until the pain over, but what's worse, the pain or the hangover, which raises the question in a lot of ways, you know, what sorts of other harms are we perhaps causing ourselves by not dealing with things more naturally?
Yeah, I think if we were drugging away depression and differences of humanity, like if everybody's in a line and everybody looked the same, we can say bye-bye to all kind of organic and original culture. So
yeah.
So I'm gonna totally stand up for that. Like, life is not pretty, has never been like, look one time in the fucking, you know, like in the fucking out there in the jungle, like it's not pretty, it's full of blood, it's full of violence, you know, it's the same as us. We've never been pretty, we're never gonna be pretty.
Right.
It's just, we need to keep it real though.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not a, I also say, like, I usually have this little speech about it, like, I think they cannot put you on drugs every day. Like, even if you're a person that look for kicks in your life, even if you're a person that is almost choked by this sober lifestyle and this square existence, even if you need to go out and dance to techno 12 hours a week, even if you need to do this stuff, it doesn't mean that you need to take drugs every day.
Right.
Like, you maybe just need to take drugs 2-3 times a month, and that's okay. That's fine. That's what fucking people been doing for thousands of years. Like, that's what we do, you know?
Yeah. And alcohol in particular, you know, has been known to age people in looks. But you did collaborate with Skrillex on Only Getting Younger. Ironically, though, I understand you're actually pretty drunk the first time you were talking to him on the phone.
Yeah, I was. I'm like, I don't know what it's. Probably it's because of tensions and some kind of weird inner stress I have. But like, I don't know. Like, when I'm Eillphant, I'm usually a little bit shit-faced. Yeah.
But how did that go over with him?
No, it just
he was cool with it?
Yeah, he's really, like, he's having like a real clean lifestyle in many ways. Like, he drinks a lot, I think, but like he's very, like, he's full out of that whole other thing. I don't know, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, I was probably drunk first time we talked, and like I'm probably drunk every time we see each other. Yeah, that's the point.
It's actually quite expensive to drink in Sweden though, because of the Systembolaget.
Yeah, we have a full Babylon situation around that. It's expensive, but it's not expensive enough for me.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, but you always find your sleazy bars where you get your cheap beer. Like, I can find $2 beers in Sweden too.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you know, speaking of getting wasted, I did find it pretty fascinating that Sweden is currently recycling 99% of its trash.
Yeah.
Less than 1% ends up in a landfill.
You also following I Love Fucking Science?
I try.
I love fucking science. It's a really good page on Facebook. Anyway, yeah, I know. I read that on Facebook.
Crazy.
Like, I had no idea. I don't see that though when I'm there. Like, I have a country house where I see all this summer, like this rich Stockholm summer people like throw away their trash. We have this real good like called petting system, like panting system.
Okay.
It's like when you can put your bottles like this or like your wine bottles, everything, and you can get some money back from it. We got that, but like I see a lot of people going very, very, you know, lazy on that part.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's real numbers actually. Like, Sweden also have the best like fucking countdown system in the world for like making this kind of like, Sweden always have like very special numbers when they do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's also because we have probably the best. What you call that, Claes? Again, I'm sorry.
Math?
Alltså när man räknar ut, så när de ringer runt, du vet, och frågar folk. Nej, men du vet, när de ringer runt och frågar folk saker, så de statistics. We got like the best statistic in the world.
Okay.
Like the best statistic system.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, Sweden have the most suicides. Yeah, we also have the best statistics for it, you know?
Yeah.
I think in many countries, even if people kill themselves, they won't, you know, maybe put it in on black and white that it was actually a suicide for like, you know, insurance reasons, for family reasons. They don't want to put it out there. But Swedish people are not ashamed for sorrow like that. So we get it out there. We get the real information out there.
Definitely.
So.
And, you know, regarding, you know, the earth and whatnot, I understand you'd like to take it a step further even by eliminating tombstones worldwide.
Yeah, that is. I love you. You're good. yeah. I think that would be a good idea. I got a couple of like political level the question that will probably change the planet a little bit with a couple of very easy things. Yeah, I've seen the Chinese. I know about the Chinese industry for gravestones. Like most of the world's gravestones are made in China by people. It's not like wholly made in your country or next to the fucking church. Like it's made in a very dirty environment, and it weighs a lot. It's a very dangerous place to work in.
Yeah.
And I think just because of that, we shouldn't use it. But also, I think it would be a beautiful thing to teach our children and to keep it a little bit more alive. The fact that we are connected with the nature.
Yeah.
I think to plant, like you know, when the in Sweden you can only find skeletons and stuff in hills, because they always buried people in the hills to like use all the, because when they buried people on the hills, they melt through the hills with all their all our shit that we have when we die, and then they plant everything they eat around, because it gave a very massive dose of good stuff for you to have that. So my idea is to like actually plant a tree over a human being and make this human being be a part of this tree, obviously.
Totally.
So I just think that would be a beautiful thing, not only for the world, like we need some air, fresh air and stuff, also for the way kids today with their iPhones look at nature.
Totally.
They have no connection whatsoever.
Yeah.
And if you think your grandpa is this tree, maybe in the future you wouldn't fucking just pass it by. You would maybe watch it and stand still for a moment.
Totally. Well, you certainly seem like a breath of fresh air. Is there anything else that you think people should know about Eillphant?
I mean, no, just keep it rolling. Like everything's gonna change every day. I'm a changeable personality. Like I'm not gonna say anything. No, whatever. Wow, just massive love and respect.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you.
Huggy.
Best wishes with everything coming your way. Is there anything else you want to say to the people out there watching?
No, like I said, absolutely nothing. I think you fucking brought it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you have it. Once again, I'm Damon Campbell, and this is Eillphant. Thanks for watching.
Bless up.